What's up guys, welcome back to a long overdue episode of Thai Talk. Now I've got some awesome content for you guys today, but first let me just explain where I've been. Okay guys, so check it out. I decided to get myself a job while I was here in Thailand. That job turned out to be the most boring thing I think I've ever done in my life. So I decided to sell my green Dio, invest that money into parts, and now I've opened up a shop. It's called Thai Talk Shop. It's only available on Facebook at the moment. I'm stocking mostly Elite and Dio parts for now, but I am looking to expand on that range a little bit. I'm going to leave a link in the description, so if you're looking for any cool parts for your Elite or Dio, feel free to head on over there and check it out. Anyway, on with the show. So guys, as you can see, we have a Honda Dio AF27 in front of us. But this is not just any Honda Dio AF27. This is one of the fastest ever built racing bikes in Thailand. I've got a couple of videos for you here to show you the times that it's got. So just have a look at this. So guys, as you can see, this is lightning fast. We've got a 7.5 and a 7.3 from this. It's crazy fast. So anyway, I thought, considering we don't see scooters like this very often, I thought I'd have a look around it, show you everything that's on there, and you guys can get an idea of what is required to actually reach those kinds of speeds. So guys, as you can see, this is a water-cooled setup. There's the radiator on the front. This radiator is actually from a Honda CBR 150, and it's a common radiator that people use in Thailand for water-cooled Dio setups. As expected, some modification is necessary, and that means adding some tabs to the radiator and changing the direction of one of the nozzles. But when installed properly, they can look super clean, and these are really great radiators for a water-cooled Dio setup as well. Next, we're going to take a look at the handlebars. You can see that it has two switches. One is for engaging the pump, and the other is so that we have power to the engine. And this is only kickstart. There's no other way to start it. Okay, so next we're going to move on to the front wheel. And as you guys can see, we've got an RRGS front shocks. I'm not sure of the caliper brand. If you know, please leave a comment. We've got a custom mounting bracket for the pump there with a cool sort of plexiglass flooring, and you can see here that the frame has also been lightened by removing some of the metal. Dio frames are quite heavy, so this will help significantly. So we can see there's also a added crossbeam or crossbar for strengthening the frame. Of course, with all that power, the frame can flex sometimes when the rider launches at a race. So these can just help to keep the frame nice and sturdy. Okay, so now let's move on to what I believe is one of, if not the most important part of this build. So these are quite new to the market. I don't know of many people that are using them, and what I do know is when you buy it, it comes with no data on there at all. So the buyer actually has to write the map or the graph for the CDI themselves. Now of course GSO parts are always really nice quality, often race focused, so this is a really integral part of this build for sure. So I happen to know as far as I know, the only guy in Thailand that's actually writing maps for these CDIs. He actually built this engine, and as you saw from the videos, it is ridiculously fast. 7.323 is just crazy. There aren't many other scooters hitting those kinds of times. So if you are thinking of building a really crazy fast racing scooter, this would be something to look into for sure. Next up, we've got the custom racing seat. I can assure you it's really uncomfortable. So let's check out the engine and the crank setup for this build. So what we've got is a GSO 55mm liquid cooled cylinder with a, of course, GSO 55mm water cooled head. The crank is a 56mm GSO crank. So it's quite a big setup. I've been told it's about 133, 135 cc. So of course, if you're looking to do a crazy racing, drag racing build on your Dio, that is the kind of numbers you want to work for. Something around 130 to 140 cc will get you those kind of numbers. Now let's obviously look at the manifold intake there. It is a TWH open manifold with V-Force 4 reed. The spacer there is one that's made here locally in Thailand, and of course we've got an SWR 34mm carburetor. Okay, so next let's talk about the CVT setup. Okay guys, so as we can see here, we've got the cover off and we can observe it has a TWH, I think it's a 2D clutch cover and the red clutch. Behind that you have the GSO overrange rear pulley. These are really awesome if you want to run an 18mm belt. The front we've got overrange drive face and a 96mm GSO pulley. I'm not exactly sure the size of the belt yet, but as we can see, it's been machined to allow for the extra belt travel on the overrange parts. So also you can see on the inside of the cover, of course that's been machined too. This is all necessary to accommodate for the large overrange parts. You can see that it's actually had quite a nice job done of it. I just used like a rotary tool when I did mine, but obviously I think this one's been actually properly machined. Really nice looking setup there. Of course, this does prove that things like TWH parts, the cheaper stuff, can actually be quite fast. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the bike because I'm sure you guys out there are really interested to see. Right, so we've just taken a look at the CVT parts. Now let's take a look at some of the stuff at the rear end here. The tyre is an IRC MB62. You can get a bit of a better look at the GSO engine parts there. This pipe is nothing special. It's, from what I've been told, it's just an old pipe that's run really good numbers consistently. So this pipe went on to this build. It's just a Thai-made GSO style pipe. The flywheel is basically stock lightened flywheel. Now, we've had a look around this bike. You can see that there has been a lot of money and of course a lot of time invested in building this. Making a bike run 7.3 to 7.5 at 201 meters is not easy. I think it's a combination of very good engineering skill, very good understanding of the parts, and as I say, the GSO CDI is also very important. Okay guys, so the interesting thing about this scooter, a guy actually approached me through my Thai Talk shop Facebook page. He's from the USA and he was asking if I can find him a super fast scooter over here in Thailand, and this is what I found. I will say that it is not cheap. If you guys are interested in me sending you a scooter, I can find a really fast scooter for you guys, but they are not cheap. You know, I can get stock ones quite cheap, relatively cheap, but this one it is a big investment, you know. So I think he's going to be super happy about it. I think you guys are going to see more of it in the USA when this arrives. But I must say it was a super fun experience tracking down a really fast racing bike. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to ride it because it requires nitro fuel. But I think, as I say, the buyer is going to have one hell of a time when he gets this. So anyway guys, this actually concludes this long awaited update or episode from me. I've got loads of cool content coming. I've got my own build that I'm doing at the moment, which is a drag racing build. I'm also building another 80cc street engine as well, which I'm considering to put up for sale, but we'll see what happens when it comes around. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. It's been great to put out some new content, and of course, like, comment, share and subscribe. And it's goodbye from me, from the land of smiles, also known as Thailand. See you next time, guys.